4 massive truth bombs that you and your soul have been calling in. And I'm telling you, they are deep and you need to hear them because this is exactly what I needed to hear, especially at this time. So you called this video in for a reason, and as always, I'm just so grateful to have you here. So, yeah, let's just dive right in. Actually, I wanted to mention that, first of all, I'm all over the place apparently. Thank you so much for 300,000 once again. Between last video and this video, we definitely got there. So I'm very, very grateful. And yeah, I mean, I just never thought, I always think of every video and how many people watch that video. And I think about those people in like a stadium. And we're selling out stadiums, even if the video gets 20,000 views. That's insane. Like, I can't even comprehend that number. So I just want to say very, very grateful for all of you. All right, yeah. I always feel like so uncomfortable receiving or like in that position. So like getting all hot now. I don't know why. All right, so let's just dive into the first huge truth bomb that you need to be reminded of. Number 1 is you are here for a reason. Now, I get it. We talk about this all the time within spirituality, that you're here for a reason and you have a job to do or you have a mission. But today I'm going to talk about it in a very different way. You are here for a reason. Every single soul that chooses to incarnate into a physical body all across this universe also incarnates for a reason. So let's talk about what that reason is. Now, just a reminder, I started my career with past life regression. So I have done my fair share of time exploration and Akashic record expanding. So there are 2 and only 2 reasons why any soul chooses to incarnate. 1, you are here to learn. Okay? The first reason that you incarnate anywhere is my volume too low? Is that better? Oh, sorry guys, is that better? I know sometimes it gets sort of poppy and sometimes it's too low, so I don't know. Tech is not my friend. Okay, cool. All right, so there's only 2 reasons why anyone or any soul incarnates. 1 is to learn something. Now, when you think about a soul learning something, it's actually a version of receiving, okay? So you sign up for a body that was born disabled, or you sign up as a tree that ends up getting cut down, right? You got to think about every incarnation across the entire universe, and the limitations of that incarnation are what really create that container for lessons and learning. So when we show up as a soul in a physical incarnated body, we learn something from that body. We learn something from the potential emotions. We learn something from childhood. We learn something from the container of which that body experiences life. When we learn something as a soul, it is a gift. We are receiving something. We are taking something in. The second reason why any soul incarnates into any body is to give, okay? So what are we giving, right? I mean, yeah, we could talk about that being our mission, right? Our career, the job that we came here to do. Or we can talk about it as experience. What am I here to give? Any lesson that you have learned from past lifetimes is something that you're here to gift. You're here to give. So there's 2 reasons why we incarnate. 1 is to receive through lessons, learning lessons, and 2 is to give and to help others through lessons that you've already learned. And that's why old souls who have been in many lifetimes, who have learned many lessons, are typically in a position of being a teacher. They dedicate their entire lives to service to others because they have so much to give, right? So just keep this in mind. Incarnation is about an exchange of experience. And I'm going to repeat that again because this is a fully loaded, activating statement. Incarnation is about an exchange of experience. That's all that life is. That is the whole purpose of existing, is experience. And in every lifetime, you're here to either give experience or gain experience. And you move along and you go through all of the dimensions and you incarnate through different densities. And each density has its own container of lessons and limitations. And then you get all the way to the end of incarnating in this grand universe, 12th dimension, maybe beyond, I don't know. And then you have a choice to make. Do you want to go back to source frequency and become God, all that is, again? Or do you want to break away from this universe and consciously create your own universe, your own set of limitations, your own dimensional densities, your own experiences with a different container, with different limitations? And you do it all over again. And I don't know if that is liberating to think of or really depressing to think of. I've gone through my own emotions processing that information, but I think that's one of our greatest questions when we awaken. What is the purpose of existence? What is the point of being here? What is the point of suffering? It's about experience. All right. Okay, let's talk about truth bomb number 2. These are all across the board, by the way. All right, this is really important, and this is very specific to this time in your life right now. We are no longer rooted in a singular reality. And I'm going to repeat that because that is also a fully loaded statement. We are no longer rooted in a singular reality. So what does that mean? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was very clear to see that this is the world, this is what I was taught, this is my reality, this is the way it's always going to be. That is no longer the case. That is no longer the case both at an individual level, and it's definitely no longer the case at a collective level. Right now, every single timeline that could exist, every single doorway to a different experience is open right now. There is no such thing as one reality. There is no such thing as a singular timeline or one path to get to the destination. That is an incredibly liberating thing to think of. That tomorrow you could wake up and your entire life changes. And yeah, that was always a possibility, but these days the probability of that possibility are like so much higher. Why is that? It's because the frequency on planet Earth is shifting and changing. We are moving from one density to another density. And as we make this shift, the reality, let's call it the time and the space container that we were once living in 10, 20, 50, 1,000 years ago, it's no longer the same. So we are now experiencing both time and space at a different capacity. And it feels very ungrounded, right? Now, at the same time, that's very liberating. It's really scary. You don't know what to expect. You have no idea what's coming around the corner. You don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, let alone next year. I remember it was so easy to plan my 5-year goals 5 years ago. It's impossible to plan my 5-year goals today. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't even know what I want to happen, which is the craziest part. That's a good thing, okay? Once again, we are no longer rooted in a singular reality, and that's a good thing. All right. Just on that truth bomb, this is also like a huge statement that I'm going to make. Your focus feeds density. Your focus feeds density. This is the quantum mechanics version of manifestation. If I were to manifest a basketball out of thin air, for example, I don't have a basketball in my life. I don't play basketball. It's not a thing I think of. It's not a thing I do. So I think about a basketball. And then I think about that basketball again. I think about the texture of that basketball. I think about the color of the basketball. I think about the smell of a new basketball. And every single time I think about a basketball, I increase the density. I'm bringing it from a thought form in a higher frequency where time and space don't exist the same way. And as I think about it, I'm densifying it. That's definitely not a word. I'm giving it more density. And eventually you think about something enough, and it literally populates out of thin air into your reality. You could be walking down the street and there is just some random basketball just sitting there. You could pick it up and feel it, or just laugh to yourself that you really did that. So please keep that in mind. Your focus feeds density. Density is the only difference between your thought forms and your physical reality. That's it, guys. All right. Okay, let's go to truth bomb number 3. Oh yeah, this is really important. And as always, take or leave any of this. And thank you guys so much for the wonderful super chats. I really do appreciate your support. Contracts are dominating free will. And this is a very specific piece of information that is very important for this time. Between 2025 and 2028, I'm going to repeat this. Contracts are dominating free will. What the heck does that even mean? So in life, right, everything that happens is either based on a soul blueprint or your contracts, your destiny, your predestined contracts, or everything that happens in your life is based on free will. Just like the basketball. That was my free will to bring that into this reality. All right. Now, in the past, in our life, and typically in incarnations, free will is about 60% of what happens. We kind of fill in the gaps of, what do I want to eat tonight? Is it going to be spaghetti or pizza or salad or steak or salmon or what? I don't know, but I get to make that choice, right? If, say, for example, I go out to a restaurant and I eat something and I get food poisoning, that might be destiny. That might be written into your contracts because at that time in your life, you really need to clean out your system, okay? Destiny and predestined contracts are typically much heavier things, much more impactful things in our life. The free will aspect is they're light, fluffy things. They're the in-between. They're the fillers, okay, in our life. All right, so for the first time ever in 2025, contracts are outweighing free will. Why is this happening? It's happening because, once again, the density on planet Earth is shifting and changing. Because we are moving into a new container of time and space and other things, we are being forced out of our own old container really, really quickly. And if you have not been listening and making decisions with your free will in the past 3-ish years, then you're kind of getting a rug pull right now. Your blueprints and your contracts are forcing you to catch up with your highest timeline that is going to align to the new timeline of planet Earth. Whether you know it or not, if life is falling apart for you right now, it is a really, really good example of how your contracts are stepping in to say, yep, you're with the wrong person, you're in the wrong job, you're thinking about the wrong things, and typically your contracts or your blueprints or your spirit guides, like, they won't intervene. Like, they will really just kind of give you the the freedom to make your own decisions. However, there is a mad rush right now. We are in a spiritual traffic jam trying to all get to the same destination. And I think a lot of us have had these rose colored glasses on of not actually paying attention to some really important aspects of our life. And now we are all getting forced to shift them and change them rapidly. Okay? Your predestined soul contracts are dominating your free will. What does that mean for you? It means that you're going to feel really helpless. It means that you're going to feel like you have no more control over how your life is playing out. And I have to remind you that this is all temporary. It's not going to last forever. Your free will be regained. However, if you continue to fight your free will with your destiny and refuse to actually listen to the intuitive messages, you refuse to surrender, that battle is going to go on and it's going to be hard. What's happening in your life may feel really extreme right now, but it's actually all playing out for your highest good. You are either in a place where you are in true blissful ignorance. Nope, everything in my life is good. So I must have been listening. EA is crazy, like whatever. Cool, you're happy. I'm happy for you. You're either in that stage, and true, you could really truly have listened and be happy and be on the other side, which is fine. Or you're just blissfully ignorant. Or you're in the middle and you're like, whoa, 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 like I didn't ask for this change. I don't want the change. I think I need to change. I think I'm unhappy, but I don't want to accept that I'm unhappy because that means a lot of change. So you're just like, you're seeing the new, you're seeing the old very clearly, and you are probably resisting or maybe surrendering, but you're in between. And then the third stage is, okay, that was really hard and I couldn't accept it. And then I did accept it. And then I struggled with it. And I was really in between for a while. And that was really exhausting. But now here I am. And I've got all of these new elements of my life coming in, these new opportunities, these new people, these new downloads, these new realizations. The energy is of movement, right? Don't resist so hard that you're only going to find that movement in like another 2 years. Like I said, contracts are going to dominate free will between 2025 and 2028. Please do not be kicking yourself in 2028 thinking of this video saying, I really should have listened. So what's my recommendation if you are, especially in the first or second stage of this transition? Surrender. Surrender. I don't care what is involved. I don't care what identity attachments you have. I don't care what you're going to lose. You're only attached to what you're going to lose because you're afraid there is nothing to gain. And I'm here to remind you that this would not be happening in your life if you are not going to gain something so much better. It's time to reframe reality in a new way. So surrender. Stop fighting, stop resisting, stop attaching, and trust that the universe does have your back, as cheesy and as woo-woo as that sounds, okay? Trust in those higher contracts. The more you resist them, the harder it's going to be. All right. Okay, before I get to my last truth bomb of the day, and like I said, these are really important things that I hope you re-listen to, especially on a rough day. And thank you guys so much for the super chats and the support and the likes on this video and subscribing to the channel and just being here. And also, can I just like mention something just like off script a little bit, even though I write my own sort of notes. I don't know how this is going to come across, but I'm just going to say it. It takes a very particular kind of person to be able to watch my content. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but the biggest reason is because my content is very multifaceted, right? Took me a very long time to figure out what my label was. Am I a medium? Am I a psychic? Am I a past life regressionist? Am I a channeler? Am I a remote viewer? Am I a truth seeker? Am I a teacher? Am I a student? Am I a human? Am I an alien? I don't know. I think I'm all of it. And because that is who I am, and because that's how my content is reflected, that's who all of you are. You are not linear beings. You are very, very unique, diverse, multifaceted individuals who can handle going from remote viewing some really icky political bullshit and getting curious about agendas to talking to interdimensional beings on the 11th of every month, to then like playing it really real and talking about density and quantum mechanics and manifestation and third eye opening and just really fucking being human and getting grounded. And also how shitty life has been recently. Like, let's just throw that into the mix. The fact that you're here and you're just going with it. I'm just going with it, and like you decided to go with it. I think that's really cool. So wanted to put that out there. And I always think about that. I really truly do. I think about just me being able to show up in such a diverse sort of nonlinear way and having people just get it and be there with me. I don't know. It's cool. All right. So last point. Okay. Don't take life too seriously. Okay. Think about it this way. This is one lifetime out of an infinite number of lives. Lifetimes where you are animals, lifetimes where you are insects, lifetimes where you are multifaceted, multidimensional beings, lifetimes where you are human, lifetimes where you are a tree, lifetimes where you are a crystal embedded into a planet for God knows how long, okay? This is just one life, you guys. And if we are lucky and don't lose our minds in the process, we got 100 years here. Please take a step back and realize that this is just, it's a simulation, it's a projection. And I think in so many ways, because it seems like the world is completely collapsing around us, and in so many ways, it seems like this is the biggest pivotal moment for the entire galaxy based on this crazy hybrid experiment that we are. And that all feels very important and a lot to deal with and handle and comprehend. It is still just one life. So enjoy it. Don't get sucked in to the game of this reality. Because at the end of the day, you're not just the character here. You're not just a man. You're not just a woman. You're not just a cashier. You're not just a wife. You're not just a father. You're not just who you think you are. You're not just the character, the role that you're playing. But you're also not just the one playing the character. You're the programmer. You are the creator. You set all of this up. And not only did you set all of this up, but you set up this moment right now. You decided that everything in your life was going to coalesce and lead you right here for this 25-minute video to remind you to step back, to let go, to live life a little bit more every single day, to not take this too seriously, to enjoy the exchange of experience, to even enjoy the suffering, because you have the understanding and the awareness of what that suffering is leading you to, which is learning. That's it. That's all we're here to do. We're here to give. We're here to receive the experience that we have gained. as a human or a tree or a frog or a bird or whatever it is we choose to show up as. Okay? So here's my advice right now, based on this information. Let go. Let go and surrender. And expect the unexpected. That's all from me. Thank you guys so much. Please share this video with someone who really needs it. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see all of you in the highest possible timeline. And if you're there before me, then pull me in. All right, bye for now.